So how can you make 20 to 25 million ISK on alpha character using only skills that are available at the moment of your creation? The short answer is hauling of commodities, and longer version, high prices on buy or low prices on sell. You just need to pick up the ones that are best for you. And this tool does exactly that. It actually uses the real prices and the real volumes and makes it so that you can just press, get the order executed, get money. Completely hassle-free, very easy, and you really don't need to have a lot of skills for that. And many other hints that you can learn by watching this video. Enjoy! Hello, this is SomeKindOmen, and today I am going to tell things in a little bit different way. You see, originally I wanted to continue the series of me starting up as alpha character with a small tutorial explaining how to haul things around the universe so that you can move your ships and move your items with you when you are going from one place to another, specifically from the career agents to the base of Sisters of Eve, where the Bloodstained Stars epic arc happens, which is a good continuation for your career as a novice pilot. But while I was doing research on what videos are there on how to fit a hauler ship and how to do hauling, I noticed one particular piece. In one of the videos, a person was discussing how they would take what is called a commodity good on board whenever they are hauling contracts, and they described a few things, but the focus of that video was mostly on just setting up extra profit for your large hauler, such as freighter or orca. While watching that, however, I thought, well, this looks quite profitable from what I have seen, and comparing to other income sources that are available to a starting character, and considering the fact that even like 0 hours old character already has skills to fly industrial ship and fit all necessary modules, considering all that, I realized that maybe I should look more into this. So what I did first, I went to Eve Marketer, looked up every single one of those trade goods that are available. Trade goods are the goods that are essentially in the games like Freelancer or Elite are sold and bought by NPCs, and those NPCs are creating artificial supply and artificial demand. They are completely useless for any other purposes, so you just need to fly to a place, buy these goods from NPCs, and then haul them to another place and tell them back to NPCs and get your ISK on margin. So I decided to make a spreadsheet table to compute how much profit in theory you can make. So I started by looking up the highest buy order price and lowest sell order price. Those are typically the prices to which the orders will naturally get, while NPC stations will increase or decrease those prices as supply and demand goes, but these will be the limits. So those are our theoretical maximal margin. Then I looked up the volume of individual goods, and I computed how much of individual good could fit into 20,000 cubic meters. This is not an arbitrary number. 20,000 cubic meters is what in theory you can get from Wrath or from any other agile hauler if you basically feed them properly and if you use cargo containers. More on that later. So I took these and then I plugged the numbers into a very simple formula. So I assumed that you take 20,000 cubic meters of volume and then you load full using lowest sell order price and then sell using highest buy order price. And the numbers were quite significant. I would say that I was surprised by how much you can profit. Some goods were showing profit up to 10, 15, 20, even some 30 million ISK per haul. These are ridiculous numbers. Then I started to consider, why would people not do that? So the first thing that came into my mind is that it is probably not possible to buy a whole load of industrial and haul it and sell it. So I looked up the maximum sell and buy order volumes that were available by NPCs, and I limited to that. Second, I considered that even if you are hauling things with industrial ship, you are not only limited by volume, but also by the price of the goods. Because if you will try to haul things that are very expensive, then you will be ganked. Maybe not immediately, but once you get ganked once, you really would not be able to continue hauling for some time, because you will basically lose both your ship and the whole price of the goods that you are hauling. Now, with these two additional calculations, things started to look more realistic, but still quite profitable. So I decided to take it upon myself and just went along and started hauling things. I started with 10 million ISK in capital and a fitted Wrath. When I fitted it, I did not use cargo hauling rigs initially, only cargo hold expanders. because really when you have only 10 million ISK you really would not be able to fill even the whole breadth. So I started hauling, just using the EVE marketer as a way to find the deals, because this is a little bit better than in-game market, because you can see orders from different markets. And then using this information, I was hauling a little bit. All in all, I hauled for about 4 hours total. And you can see now the whole process in accelerated time running in the background of this video. So this turned out decent. I would say that I had 5 to 10 million ISK per hour income, which was very good considering that I had 0 assets to start up with and 0 ships, and 0 skills actually were used. After these 4 hours I ended up having about 38 million ISK and a fitted Wrath with proper Tech 1 cargo rigs, a set of Tech 2 cargo hold expanders, 2 additional inertia stabilized modules to speed up warp outs when I am not hauling anything, and a set of cargo containers. This was good, but not good enough, because the process was tedious and EVE Marketer is not the most reliable tool, so I decided, why would I advise somebody to run this process if it's not pleasant? And I decided to go on full into this process and developed a tool for you that you can use to basically select the starting location from which you are about to haul, and either a single or multiple possible candidate goods that you would like to haul in theory. You can assess which ones are more or less profitable in general to save on computation time, because it takes a little bit of effort, especially if you're running it on a slower machine. In short, you will have this tool and you will provide it with the amount of cargoes that you can carry, and either with your limit based on the amount of ISK you have, or based on the tanking capability and ganking resistance of your ship. So you can put any number basically if you're using Wrath. With the feed that I have been using, it can haul around 60 million ISK safely, but since I was initially having less than that, I would have put first my budget. And then after I have reached 60 million ISK and more, then I started to just leave it at 60 million. Once you have these numbers plugged in, you can press calculate and the tool will query for you EVE Online API for market orders, and it will look up all Empire space market orders for those commodity goods that you have selected, and then it will do best order pair matching. So it will go through all buy orders and all sell orders and try to compute distance from your starting point to buy order point and then to the sell order point. So this whole route, and then it will compute how much you would get from that route in practice, using the sell order price, buy order price, and the tax rate that you have, because you have to pay tax on every sell transaction EVE Online as well, which cuts into your profit significantly. And it will tell you in which system you have to fly, in which system you will have to buy this particular goods, and in which system you have to sell them. With this information, you can expedite the process much more significantly. And here is another video of me doing exactly that. I have used beta version still, so there were some bugs and debugging in the process, but I have managed to achieve about 18 million ISK per hour of income on Wrath. And that is considering that I have started not even with 60 million initially. I have started with just basically 38 million that I have ended up with. So you can see that this in theory can make you a hefty profit around 20-25 million ISK per hour. The good thing about this is that it is not really random, because basically, except for the actions of other players, you are not preying on NPCs to sell this stuff. They will eventually generate those high prices on buy or low prices on sell. You just need to pick up the ones that are best for you. And this tool does exactly that. It actually uses the real prices and the real volumes and makes it so that you can just press, get the order, execute it, get money. Completely hassle-free, very easy, and you really don't need to have a lot of skills for that. So as for requirements, basically you can do that with alpha character. I strongly recommend that you complete the tutorial missions and career agents so that you have some starting cash and also Wrath hauls. You can sell all other wraith hulls and all other ships that you are being given with these missions. Just hold them to JITA and sell them. And with all this money, you can start hauling. You can speed up your progression through these tutorials by following my guides. So there are 4 guides already available that cover everything starting from the first minutes in EVE Online and character creation down to the last of the career agents. And you can follow project discovery and submit those samples every now and then. They are limited per day, so I recommend you doing this daily. You can do them while hauling as well, so this will not be any extra hassle for you. Finally, if you still don't have money, or if you think that agent running is a little bit boring for you, then you can try exploration. I have made also quick 1-minute video with some hints about hacking, and you can see explanation on how scanning interface works, how anomalies work, and what you need to know to find out those radar and magnetar anomalies, signatures, and go there and get some income from those. But basically, once you have about 10 million ISK already in cash, which you should have after completing just industrial and basic military career agents, you will be able to start up really quickly. Most of the goods that are available for hauling, they actually don't require a lot of investment, and you will progress quickly because they have quite significant margin. Now, once you have all that, here's what you have to do. Here you can see me with Python Fitting Assistant. If you don't know what this is a tool that other players have developed that helps you test different fits, design different ships. I have used this tool to fit out and test different cargo hauling ships. Here are the 4 main industrials: Mammoth, Eteron Mark V, Tyra, and Bestower. These 4 are specialized in general cargo hauling. As you can see, when they are fitted, they all provide from 30 to 32,500 cubic meters of cargo. You can get a little bit more if you use Tech 2 versions of these rigs, but then these ships become much more expensive. I think each of these rigs is about 9 million ISK. Now that you have all 4 of them, you can also notice that they have different layout, because basically in theory, Mars ships are supposed to be armor tanked and Galente ships are supposed to be armor tanked, and this means that they will have higher amount of low slots. So you can guess that best strategy for fitting of an industrial ship for tanking would be to use Tyra and fit all 5 medium slots with shield tanking. And this is what you will get if you do that. Here I had to sacrifice a little bit, because with alpha character stats you will not be able to really fit all 4 expanded cargo holds at the same time as everything else. So I had to sacrifice a little bit of cargo volume, about 20%, to get maximum possible tanking. And if I put maximum cargo, then I end up with 12,100 effective hit points. Effective hit points are basically your hit points multiplied by resistance, or inverse of resistance actually, by how much damage gets through. You can see that also I use overheated modules. You will not have access to that immediately, but you can easily train that. The cost of that is 5 million ISK skill book, and basically you can learn thermodynamic skill, which will allow you to overheat modules, increasing the tanking capacity of this ship a little bit. So basically Tyra by default with this feat is capable of hauling around 54 million ISK. That's not much. Contrary to that, Wraith has 12.2 thousand effective hit points already when it doesn't even use overheating. And if we do, then it's 13.5. So this gives us around 67.5 million ISK in haulable cargo, and this one is 61. This is basically the ganking limit. The equation for that is a rough estimate. Of course, you can be ganked with nothing in cargo at all, or you can safely haul 100-200 million ISK and hope that nobody just notices that. But if you do that regularly, eventually this is your safe margin. If you don't exceed that, then the chance that you will be ganked is not that high. And now, as you can see, the strategy for fitting all of these ships, regardless of which of the empire you want to use, you just fill up Greek slots with medium cargo hold optimization tech 1. This gives you some flat bonus at the cost of armor, actually. And then you will have expanded cargo hold modules that gives you more cargo capacity at the cost of structure hit points. As you can see, neither of them penalize shield, so effectively all cargo ships should be shield tanked. And then you use medium slots at left to add some buffer and then some resistances on top of that. If you are aiming to actually hold things in AFK mode, then you want to replace that and go with passive resistances. So let's go to shield resistance amplifier, EM shield, normal, and we will use tech 2 version. Unfortunately, passive resistances don't have what is called multi-spectrum shield hardeners that provides resistances to all of them at once. So you will end up with having 2 EM and 1 thermal, and you will have 20% less effective hit points. That's still quite a lot, so you will be able to hold safely about 51 million ISK in cargo with this fit, and that you can do basically AFK. So basically I have considered all 4 slow haulers for each empire, and I have considered Wrath as a fast one. And the calculations in the spreadsheet indicate that it is actually better to run things on a faster ship with less cargo, because the tanking capacity, the tank of these ships is actually pretty much the same. So with a fast ship you can haul safely about 60 million, with with a larger industrial you can haul about 80 million ISK, but you pay for that with a lot of speed reduction. So the speed of fast hauler in just warp speed, it is just 4.5 astronomical units per second, and that is 50% faster. So basically whatever you lose in cargo capacity you make an extra in speed, and you will be limited mostly by value of the cargo that you are hauling rather than by volume of it. Thank you for sitting through this video, and I hope you found this information useful. If you did, don't forget to like this video and have fun hauling goods. Fly safe.